Let us continue foundation chemistry. In the foundation chemistry, we will see pressure of gas, measuring pressure of gas. Measuring pressure of gas we will take. In the pressure of gas, we will take a open end manometer. We will take a open end manometer. This open end manometer is used for measuring gaseous pressure. That open end manometer we will take. That arrangement we will see. This is a vessel in order to take gas. This is a U-tube. This is U-tube. This is open end. Open end in the sense atmospheric air will act. Here we will take gas, we will take. You will take gas, it is closed. Here what will be there in the sense mercury will be there. Here mercury liquid is present. Mercury liquid is present. Suppose level of mercury in the left limb is so and so and right limb is so and so. Okay. Here gas is present. This gas is exerting pressure downward like this. This air is exerting pressure downward like this. This air pushes the mercury down. This gas pushes the mercury like this down. Mercury level in this limb is so and so and in this limb is so and so. Now let us compare the pressure exerted by the gas. Now we will consider pressure exerted by the gas and the pressure exerted by this atmospheric air. Compare these two values. Compare these two values and say. Next we will take another vessel. In this vessel we will take gas. We will take which gas pressure we want to measure, that gas we will take in this vessel. This vessel we will close it and it is open end, therefore atmospheric air is exerting pressure here. In this limb mercury is present. Now level of mercury, suppose in this place left side level is this much, right side level is this much. Here in this place gas is exerting pressure downward like this. This air is pushing mercury like this. Now both are pushing mercury with respect towards a certain side. Gas is pushing mercury like this side. Air is pushing mercury in this direction. Now due to these two, the level of mercury in left limb is here, right limb is here. Now let us compare pressure exerted by the gas and pressure exerted by the air. We will compare in this place. Let us compare. Next we will take another manometer. In this manometer we will take the gas. Which pressure we want to find, that gas we will take. So we will take a gas. This pressure we have to find. It is open end, atmospheric air is acting. In this place mercury liquid is present. Now this gas pushing mercury present here towards this side, like this direction. This air pushing the mercury in this direction. This air pushing the mercury in this direction. Now what about level of mercury? If you see, level of mercury is here and level of mercury is here. Right side limb here, left side limb here. Like this is there. Now gas is exerting pressure, air is exerting pressure. Let us compare both values. How these values will be there. Now three things we have given. Now we have to compare the pressure of gas with the pressure of air. First we will take. In the first we will see that this gas pushing this mercury towards towards down like this. This air pushing this mercury towards down like this. Now in what magnitudes they will push the mercury towards respective directions such that mercury level here and here are equal. In what way? Because in what way? In the sense pressure exerted by both will be equal, then only we can say mercury level here and here will be equal. Sir. So in this case, we can say pressure exerted by the gas is equal to pressure exerted by atmospheric air. We will take this one. This gas pushing this mercury towards down like this, towards down like this. This air pushing the mercury towards down like this. Both are pushing the mercury towards the respective directions. How the mercury level is there means here mercury level is in the left limb down, right limb up. That means pressure exerted by both are not equal. One is high, which is high in the sense pressure exerted by the gas is high when compared to air. That's why left limb will be lower, right limb will be higher regarding mercury level. So pressure exerted by the gas is equal to pressure exerted by the air plus some value. This some value we said no, that value depends on this difference in height. This difference in height we can say. So that x is equal to x is depending on this height. X we can say depends on this height. Therefore x is equal to HDG we can say. H is called height. Height in the sense this level. This two levels difference. The two levels difference is H, that is called height. That height. D is called density of mercury. G is called acceleration due to gravity. Okay. Next, in the third case, we'll take. In the third case, how it is there, you see, the gas is exerting pressure like this. Air is exerting pressure like this. How the limbs are there means left limb is up, right limb is down. That means this air exerts pressure higher value when compared to gas. So pressure exerted by the gas is less than pressure exerted by the air, we can say. So pressure exerted by the gas is equal to pressure exerted by the air minus Y. This Y depends on what? This height. This Y depends on this height, we can say. So Y is equal to HDG, we can say. So Y is equal to what we can say in the sense HDG, we can say H is called height, D is called density, G is called acceleration due to gravity. In this way, we can find the pressure of the gas by this open end manometer. Why it is called open end manometer means this end is open, therefore it is called open end manometer. Okay. Next we will see gas laws. Gas laws will take. In the gas laws, one gas law proposed by Boyle, therefore it is called what means Boyle's law. One gas law is one the Boyle proposed gas law, therefore that is called Boyle's law, we can say. This Boyle's considers regarding gas what means he takes gas. What gas he took in the sense he took air. He took air, number of moles of air he fixed. Number of moles of air he fixed as a some value. Number of moles of air he fixed as a some value, fixed quantity he took. Then temperature of air also he took as a constant value, some fixed value he took. Then he varied what in the sense volume of the air, otherwise pressure of air he varied. From that, what is the conclusion he got? That we will see. What conclusion he got that we will see. Now first we will take as per Boyle's, what Boyle's did experiment, that experiment we will see. We will take air in this place and it is closed with a piston. Closed with a piston. It is piston. Okay. Now, using this piston, the air pressure is applied to this air. This air is exerting what pressure? That is found using a manometer. It is connected to manometer. This is connected to manometer. Manometer says pressure exerted by this air. So, using this manometer, this air is exerting what pressure? That he found that one. He found that one. And volume of this air means from this level to this level. This is called volume of air. That volume of air also he found. Volume of air also he found it. Okay, so he took air in the vessel and he put a piston and he connected this air to manometer. manometer gives a reading, manometer gives a pressure exerted by this air, and volume of this air also you measured. So you measured pressure exerted by the air, and volume of air you measured. Then you placed some of the weights over the piston. Boyle placed some of the weights over the piston. So what will happen, do you think? Automatically piston will come down. Piston will come down because some weight is placed. Now he found a pressure exerted by the air. That is, here we will take pressure is P1, volume is V1. Now we will take pressure is P2. Volume is this much now. Now volume is this much. Okay, volume also we can find it. Then he put another weight over this. We put another weight over this. What had happened means the piston still more came down. The piston still more came down. He placed another weight over this. So what had happened means piston came down still more. Then using manometer, he found the pressure exerted by the air and volume of air in the sense this much. That volume of air he found and he continued the experiment like this. From this experiment, he came to the conclusion that, what is the conclusion he came? That we will see. Conclusion of this Boyle's. Now see here, what is the pressure of air? You see P1. Weight is placed, so P2. Still more weight is placed, so P3. So in this side, what happened to the pressure of air? Pressure of air increased, isn't it? Then volume of air you will see. From here to here is called volume of air. Due to weight placed, piston came down, volume what had happened? Reduced. Another weight is placed, piston came still down, volume what had happened? Still reduced. Therefore, what happened to the volume of air? What happened to the volume of air means that is reduced. Pressure of air is raised, volume of air is reduced. That means pressure is inversely proportional to volume. That is the conclusion he got it. He came to what conclusion? Pressure is inversely proportional to volume. When number of moles is constant and temperature is constant. This is called what means Boyle's law. So Boyle's law is also. Then pressure is inversely proportional to volume. So we can say this is PV is equal to some constant K. Now we will take here P1, here pressure we will take, this pressure we will substitute, that is P1. Here volume we will substitute here, that is V1 is equal to some K. Now we will substitute this pressure here, we will get P2. This volume here we will substitute V2 equal to constant. Now let us substitute this constant into this place. So we will get P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2, we will get it. This is what means this is called Boyle's law. Say next we will go to next law, that is what means Charles law. We will go to Charles law now. We'll take Charles law. In Charles introduced this law. This Charles considered number of moles of gas. Number of moles of gas constant. Fixed value took, and pressure of gas. It took constant value. He took which are constant values means number of moles of gas he fixed. Then pressure of gas also he fixed it. Then what he studied, regarding what terms he studied, that we will see. He took a vessel. In this vessel, he took air and he closed this with a piston. This piston is what means? This piston is a freely movable piston. It is what means freely movable piston. And a weightless piston. Weightless piston it is. Weightless piston means this weight is negligible. This piston weight is negligible. Freely movable piston in the sense frictionless. Frictionless. Frictionless will take. Okay, this piston is a frictionless piston and weightless piston. Like this we consider. Now, this surrounding air will be there, no? Surrounding air. That surrounding air will exert pressure like this. Inside air will exert pressure like this. Now, this piston is, the piston will move up due to inside air. Piston will move down due to surrounding air. Now, the piston will take a particular position at which pressure exerted by this inside air and surrounding air will be equal. Correct? To that position, we will take this system. Now we will take this system, that is a pressure exerted by inside air. Pressure exerted by inside air is equal to pressure exerted by surrounding air. Pressure exerted by surrounding air. Okay, this pressure is equal to this pressure. At that condition, this is there. Now, this is a suppose that this is at 27 degrees Celsius. Now temperature is how much means 27 degrees Celsius. Volume is how much means this is the volume. It is a volume. Now we will heat this contents. Let us heat the contents. If we heat this content, that means we are supplying heat energy to this. We are supplying heat energy to this means kinetic energy of these molecules getting raised. So what happened to the temperature of this? Temperature is raised. Suppose we brought temperature to this much. Now we supplied heat. So kinetic energy of these molecules raised. So molecules are moving fast. They are making multiple collisions on piston. So because of multiple collisions, piston will move up such that pressure here and pressure here will be equal. Piston is moving up in the sense, what happened to the volume? Think it. What happened to the volume? Volume getting raised, isn't it? Because we are supplying heat. So molecules are getting heat. Molecules are heated up. Molecules are getting higher energy. Molecules are getting higher kinetic energy. Molecules are moving very fast. So velocity of molecules, what happened? Very high. In what way the molecules will make collisions? Highly effective or what? Highly effective. Molecules are making high effective collisions. High effective collisions means how the pressure exerted will be there. It will be high. It will be high in the sense it will force the piston to move up. So piston is moving up. The piston will take particular position while this pressure and this pressure will be equal. At that time, find the volume of air that you take as V2, how that V2 value will be there when compared to this V1. Shall we say this V2 is greater than V1? Shall we say this V2 is higher than V1? Yes, of course. So in this case, what had happened? See, temperature, what had happened? Raised. In this case, temperature is raised. What happened to the volume? What happened to the volume, you see? Volume is raised. Volume is raised. So if you raise the temperature, what happens to the volume? Volume also rises. So we can say volume is directly proportional to temperature. Okay, volume is directly proportional to temperature, we are saying. Now this we will take it as like this: V by T is equal to some constant K we can take, because proportionality is there. This volume we have written here, this temperature comes to left side in the sense it comes to denominator. Instead of proportionality, we will write constant K, we will write set. So V by T is equal to K we have written. Now we will take this volume, we will substitute here. So we will get V1. This temperature will substitute here. We will get T1 is equal to K. Now this volume will substitute here, that is V2. This temperature will substitute here, that is T2 is equal to some K. This K value we will substitute here. So we will get V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. Okay, we are substituting this K into this formula. So we are getting a V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. This is which law? Charles proposed this. Therefore, it is called Charles law. Okay, so in this Charles law, which terms we have to take as a constant? One is number of moles, another one is pressure of gas. Which are variables? Which are variables do you say? Volume is variable and temperature is variable. Okay, so in Charles law, volume and temperatures are variable, number of moles and pressure are constant. So, next we will take a Gay-Lussac law. We will take Gay-Lussac law. We will take Gay-Lussac law. In this Gay-Lussac law, what are the constant terms? Constant terms, what means volume is fixed, then number of moles is fixed. Okay, the constant terms are what means volume and number of moles. Volume and number of moles constant terms. Set. So volume is fixed in the sense, let us take closed vessel. Okay, the vessel is what means closed. Closed vessel in the sense volume will it change? No. So volume is fixed. Before closing, take gas in the vessel. Take gas and close it. Since it is closed, number of moles also fixed. Number of moles is fixed. Now we will see. It has some temperature. That temperature we will take it as suppose 27 degrees Celsius. It is exerting some pressure, that we will take it as P1. This gas exerts some pressure, that we will take it as P1. This gas is at certain temperature, that temperature we will take it as T1 will take. Now let us apply heat to this. Let us apply heat to this gas. So you are supplying heat in the sense gas will absorb or not? Certainly it will absorb it because you are passing. So gas is absorbing heat. So what happens to its kinetic energy? Rises. Kinetic energy rises means temperature rises. So temperature becomes T2. What happened to the temperature? Temperature increases. Why temperature increases? Because we supplied heat. Sir. Now what happened to the pressure, that we will see? We supplied heat. Gas is absorbing heat. So kinetic energy of gas increases. So velocity of gas molecules increases. In what way molecules will make collision? Collision effectiveness will be high. Collision effectiveness is increasing in the sense how the pressure will be there. Pressure also increases. Pressure also increases, you can see. So if we go like this, what happens to the temperature? Increases. What happens to the pressure? Pressure increases. So what is the relation between pressure and temperature? P is directly proportional to T. Because pressure rising, temperature also rising. So P is directly proportional to T, we can say. So P by T is equal to constant. Now let us substitute this P1 here. So we'll get P1. T1 let us substitute here. So by T1 is equal to constant. Let us substitute this P2 and let us substitute this T2. Now we will say it is constant. Let us substitute this K into this place. So we will get P1 by T1 is equal to what means P2 by T2 we will get. This constant K we are substituting here. So we are getting a P1 by T1 is equal to P2 by T2 we can get. This is which law in the sense Gay-Lussac proposed, therefore it is this law is called Gay-Lussac law. We can say in this Gay-Lussac law, what are constant terms in the sense volume is constant, number of moles is constant. So now next gas law we will discuss, that is what in the sense Avogadro's law. Next gas law we are discussing, that is what means Avogadro's law will take. So what Avogadro's law says, that we will see. Now we will take the closed vessel we will take. In this vessel we will take suppose nitrogen gas. In this vessel we are taking nitrogen gas. We will take another vessel. We are taking another vessel. In this vessel we will take oxygen gas we will take. we'll take oxygen gas, we'll take in this vessel. Now volume of nitrogen gas is equal to volume of oxygen gas. It is a condition. Like this condition we'll take. Temperature of nitrogen gas is equal to temperature of oxygen gas we will take. Then pressure of nitrogen gas is equal to pressure of oxygen gas we will take. Okay. Now we will find number of nitrogen molecules in this vessel. We will find the number of nitrogen molecules. Number of nitrogen molecules or number of moles of nitrogen molecules, that we will find it. Number of moles of nitrogen molecules we will find in this vessel. Then we will find in this vessel number of moles of oxygen molecules, we will find it. Number of moles of oxygen molecules, we will find it. In this vessel we will find the number of moles of oxygen molecules. In this vessel we will find number of moles of nitrogen molecules, we will find it. Now let us compare them. How it will be there means experimental analysis says they are equal. So how we are doing, see here we have to take these two as same volume, same temperature, same pressure we are taking. Then if we see number of moles here and number of moles here, how it will be there means equal. So number of moles of nitrogen molecules is equal to number of moles of oxygen molecules will be there. So this is called which law? In the sense it is called Avogadro's law, we can say. So what are the laws we discussed? One is called Boyle's law. One is called Boyle's law we discussed. As per Boyle's law, we can say pressure is inversely proportional to volume. This we will rewrite as volume is inversely proportional to pressure, we will write. Next law we will take what is that means Charles law we will take. Charles law we are taking. As per Charles law we can say volume is directly proportional to temperature, we can say. Next law we are taking. What is that means Avogadro's law. Avogadro's law will take. What Avogadro's law says, that we'll see. In this Avogadro says what? Here what are the condition? Volume is same, temperature is same, pressure is same, while number of moles are equal. That means from this point of view, what Avogadro says means keep temperature is constant, keep pressure is constant, then we can say volume of gas is directly proportional to number of moles. That's what Avogadro says. Volume of gas is directly proportional to number of moles. Sir, how it is correct? That point we will see. Regarding this point, we will see now. Regarding that point, we will see. So in Avogadro's law, we are taking Avogadro's law. In this Avogadro's law, let us take this vessel. In this vessel, let us take nitrogen gas, and we will take in this vessel. In this vessel, we will take oxygen gas. Here, pressure of this gas is equal to pressure of this gas. Temperature of nitrogen gas is equal to temperature of oxygen gas. Like this, we will take. Volume of nitrogen gas is V1. Volume of oxygen gas is V2. Now, number of moles of nitrogen gas is N1. Number of moles of oxygen gas is N2. Like this, you will take. Now, you say that your volume is how this volume is there smaller than this one. So, how the number of moles will be there here smaller than this one. Therefore, we can say your volume is low, your volume is high. Since volume is low, number of moles is low, number of moles is high. So if volume is high, number of moles is high when pressure and temperature are fixed. Therefore, we can say V is directly proportional to number of moles. What is V? V is called volume of gas. What is N? N is called number of moles of gas. So volume of gas is directly proportional to number of moles of gas, we can say. Now we can rewrite this. V by N is equal to some constant K, we can say. Let us substitute this V1 here. So we will write, and this N1 we will substitute here. Then equal to constant we will write, equal to constant. Let us substitute this V2, and let us substitute this N2 is equal to constant, you can say. Now let us substitute this K into this place. So we will get V1 by N1 is equal to V2 by N2. This is what means Avogadro's law, we can say. So now Avogadro says volume is directly proportional to N. That formula we will take here. So as per Avogadro's law, we can say volume is directly proportional to number of moles. Now let us see cumulative effect. Here left side what is there means volume is there. Right side what is there means number of moles, temperature, pressure is there. Okay. Now here proportionality constant. We will replace this proportionality by equal to. Then we will write constant R. Constant R we have written. Then NT by P we have taken. NT by P we have taken. This we will rewrite. We will get PV is equal to what means nRT we will get. Here R is there. No, R is called what means constant. R is called what means constant. So we got one equation, that is PV is equal to nRT. This is called what means ideal gas equation. It is called ideal gas equation, we can say. In this ideal gas equation, what is P? Pressure. What is V? Volume. What is N? Number of moles. What is T? Temperature. Now we will find this value of R, we will find this R is equal to what we can say means PV by NT we can say. So now this P is called what? Pressure. Pressure, shall we write it as a force per unit area? Force per unit area shall we write? Then this volume is there. Volume is called what? That we will see. Volume is called what? That point we will see. Volume is called in the place of volume what shall we write? That we will see. Now you see here, in this place, piston initially at this place, you are placing weight, piston came to this place, correct or wrong? So due to that, what had happened to the volume? See, what is a change in volume? If you ask, what will you say? Change in volume means is it called change in volume? So this change in volume shall we say as area of the piston into displacement, shall we say? This change in volume, shall we say area of the piston into displacement, shall we say? Yes. So now we are taking this volume means what means area into displacement. Area into displacement, like this will take. So this N is called what means moles, T is called what means temperature. T is called temperature. Now what is getting cancelled? You see, common terms cancel it. Then remaining terms you take it. So remaining what means in the numerator force is there and the displacement is there. In the denominator what is there? Moles into temperature. Now we will see the numerator. Numerator says what? Force into displacement. Force into displacement is called what means work done. Force into displacement is called work done. In the denominator mole is there and the temperature is there. Temperature we will say in Kelvin. Temperature will say in Kelvin. This mole will write force into displacement, will write it as a work done. Therefore, what is this R? How to define this R? This R is called universal gas constant. It is defined as work done per mole per Kelvin. Okay, so what is this R? What is the universal gas constant R? Work done per mole per Kelvin. So what is the unit of SI unit of this R? We will see. SI unit of this R is what means work done. Work done unit is joule. This per mole will take and this per Kelvin will take. It is the SI unit of this R. So we will see some other values for this one. Now we will take this PV is equal to nRT. This equation is called what means ideal gas equation. It is called what means ideal gas equation. This is what is this ideal gas? What is this ideal gas? Ideal gas in the sense the gas which obeys Boyle's law. Which obeys Boyle's law, otherwise gas laws. Otherwise gas laws. Gas which obeys gas laws is called what means ideal gas. Gas laws in the sense what? Boyle's law, Charles law, Avogadro's law, Gay-Lussac law, and etc. If gas is obeying this gas laws, then that gas is called what? Ideal gas. Now, what is the example for ideal gas? What is the example for ideal gas? What is the example do you want to say? Now, practically no example for this. No example for this practically. That means, is it meaning that practically no gas is existing? That is not the meaning. Practically many gases are existing, but all the gases are not ideal gases. Well, that means all the gases are obeying gas laws or not obeying. That's why we are not say we are saying that ideal gas example is nil. No gas is obeying gas laws. Therefore, we are saying ideal gas example is nil. We are saying. So practically existing gases are not ideal gases. They are called what means real gases. So real gases means they do not obey gas laws. Ideal gas means they will obey gas laws. What is the example for ideal gas? No example. That means practically available all the gases are what means real gases. None is ideal gas. So now we will continue regarding this equation, this formula. In this formula, we'll take some more points. We'll take regarding this R, how to calculate this R. That value we'll see. Now we will take in the place of pressure, we'll take 1 atmosphere. In the place of pressure, what value we took means 1 atmosphere we took. This volume we will substitute later. In the place of N, number of moles we will take 1 mole we will take. This R is called universal gas constant that we will take, and T we will substitute how much means particularly wantedly we will substitute 273 Kelvin. So here pressure how much we took in the sense 1 atmosphere, temperature how much you took in the sense of 273 Kelvin. This is called what means STP condition. STP abbreviation is what means S is called standard, T is called temperature, P is called what means pressure. So STP abbreviation is what means standard, temperature and pressure. Now at STP condition means pressure is 1 atmosphere, temperature is 273 Kelvin. 1 mole of gas has what volume means 22.4 liter. Okay, so at STP condition 1 mole of gas has volume 22.4 liter we can say. Now we can say this R value. This R is equal to what in the sense? R is equal to this 1 atmosphere we can say. This 22.4 liter we can say by this 1 mole into what means 273 Kelvin. Therefore, now we can say R is equal to this on simplification comes 0.0821 we can say. What is the unit means here liter we can say. Here this atmosphere, this is per Kelvin, this is per mole, that is per mole. So this R value, R is called what is the name of this R? This name of R is called universal gas constant. Universal gas constant we can say. So universal gas constant value is how much means 0.0821 liter atmosphere per Kelvin per mole. Is it SI system? No. How do we say it is not SI system? Because volume unit given is liter. In SI system, volume unit is meter cube. And the pressure unit is given atmosphere. In SI system, pressure unit is Pascal or Newton per meter square. So it is not in SI system. So now let us convert this into SI system for which what we have to do, that we will see. Let us convert this into SI system, for which what shall we do? Liter we have to convert, atmosphere we have to convert. Liter into atmosphere is called what? Work done. That's what we have seen now. Pressure into volume is called work done we have seen. It is per mole per Kelvin, like this is there. So liter atmosphere is called work done. Work done unit is a joule in SI system. So convert liter atmosphere into joule, then you will get in SI system. So how to convert liter atmosphere into joule in the sense 1 liter atmosphere is equal to roughly 101 joule. This we will substitute there. We will get R value how much in the